am Justin Boyd.
And I'm Brittany Pacheco, and we are the Watchers in the Basement.
Welcome to the Watchers in the Basement. We are here today to discuss the 4-episode miniseries Marvel Zombies, which recently came out on Disney Plus. And Brittany, before I get your thoughts on it, before I talk about my thoughts on this show, want to hit you with the Marvel Zombies facts. It was released on September 24th, 2025. Again, 4 episodes. It is the 15th TV series in the MCU, the second series of Phase 6, and the third project overall. It's also the 6th project for Marvel Animation, so we can tick them off. What If? There are 3 seasons of that. X-Men 97, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Eyes of Wakanda, Marvel Zombies, and the I Am Groot shorts, which that's the one thing I have not watched. I've seen like 1 or 2 of them, but
Same.
there's like 5 I think I've never watched all the way through. This is Marvel Studio Animation's first TVMA series. And Brittany, let me stop right there. Did you think this was like TVMA? Because I heard about it, I saw the trailer, and I gotta say, like, I didn't really feel it. I mean, there were a couple of times where they said shit, but like otherwise, like,
I
I don't
mean,
know.
violence wise, I think it's kind of up there, given that it
Yeah,
is an animation, a Marvel animation. Like, I don't think even
right.
X-Men 97 was nearly as bloody or as violent. But I mean, yeah, Kate Bishop says the word shit like one time.
Yeah, that was in the trailer. So
See, I never watched the trailers, but
yeah,
to say it was an MA for violence, yeah, I definitely say it's up there. There's a lot of times for me, I'm watching people being killed and like major characters being killed, and I'm like, God
yeah,
damn, like that's just me, right? But violence probably deserves that rating alone.
gotcha. The series was created by Brian Andrews and Zeb Wells. Zeb Wells, if you've heard that name before, he also contributed to Deadpool and Wolverine. He was one of the writers
Oh,
on that movie. So,
very nice.
and Brian Andrews has worked for Marvel in various capacities over the years, so he's very familiar with the Avengers and all the characters and everything. The voice cast features Iman Vellani, Awkwafina, David Harbour, Simu. How you say his name? Simu
Simu,
Liu.
yeah,
Simu Liu. I never can say his name right. I don't know why.
it's okay.
Elizabeth
It's
Olsen, Randall Park, Florence Pugh, Paul Rudd, Wyatt Russell, Hailee Steinfeld, Tessa Thompson, Dominique Thorne, and Todd Williams, who is voicing a character I think Brittany was a big fan of, but we'll get to that in a second.
Mhm.
Brittany, what are your thoughts on overall thoughts on Marvel Zombies?
So I will be upfront with our watchers and our listeners. I unfortunately was not able to finish episode 4. I got like halfway through like the big battle, and we'll obviously discuss that shortly, but I got halfway through, so I without Justin's assistance, I don't know. I have not seen the ending for myself as to everything that transpired. I do know of the ending, but I didn't get to finish watching it. But overall, I like the animation, of course. It picks up very similar animation style from the
Yeah.
What If animation series, and it does pick up in a way, although it's not completely. I don't think it's even completely at all connected to the What If
Well,
episode,
it
or is
is.
it? I
Well,
mean that
it's
wasn't fully
5 years.
explained.
Yeah, so it's like you said, there's a What If episode in season 1 of What If from
Hmm.
2021, and it was called What If Zombies. And this show or this series is a continuation, but the way they kind of explain it is it's 5 years after what happened in the events of the 2018, or
Ah,
in the world of the MCU, the What If episode happened in 2018, and now it's in 2023 in the MCU, whereas for us it's 2025. So it's
mhm.
5 years later when this happened. So that's kind of how they explain why certain characters who survived the What If episode, we don't see them in this series.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to go back to your original question, overall, I like the animation. I like that they get a lot of the actual actors from these movies and shows to kind of reprise their roles in a different way. But from what you shared with me about the ending, I'm a little bummed out just because for me, it's kind of like, well, then what was the point of all of this? Is this still like that whole, what if? And like, what if all of this was just an alternate reality because of one person or because of various reasons? I'm
Yeah.
curious. I don't. The Watcher from What If has made appearances in several of these Marvel animations. Does he make an appearance in this show at any point? Because I have failed to notice it.
So I saw in the notes that it said he does make a cameo, but I don't remember seeing him. So
I
I
and
full
I
disclosure, I watched this series last Wednesday in like
mhm.
one felt swoop. I watched all 4 episodes together. Um,
You binge
so
something? Wow.
I did binge it, yeah, 'cause I had to get it done. But
Right.
yeah, I don't remember seeing him, but apparently he's credited as being in making a cameo.
I feel like I saw maybe what would be a zombie equivalent to Kevin Feige. I'm not sure if it is or isn't, but I feel like I did see someone that could potentially be a Kevin Feige because, like, wearing the ball cap, that's kind of like his signature sort of look. He wears like the jacket with the ball cap and whatnot. So I don't know. I feel like I maybe saw Kevin Feige.
I didn't see that either, but maybe you're right. I wouldn't be surprised they may have done that for sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so my thoughts are like zombies are not my thing. I mean, the only thing zombie wise that I like is The Last of Us, and even that is a
Yes.
little different. But the premise of this is the fact that there's this virus has turned the world's population, including Avengers, into zombies. And you have this group of survivors, and we're following them as they try to, make it through this world of the undead. And like my thing with the series, I think the animation is fine. I think it looked just like What If, which I thought the way What If looked was good. Um, I just don't care like about the storyline because there's no stakes in this stuff, and also the fact that because yes, we're in phase 6, but these are all mostly the stars of this series are characters who were introduced in phase 4 and 5, right?
Mhm.
The problem with phases 4 and 5 is the fact that the Marvel Cinematic Universe is an interconnected universe. Well, phases 4 and 5 are not connected. Like they're just
Yeah.
not. I mean, Thunderbolts had a bunch of team ups, have a bunch of characters in it. It was one of my favorite Marvel movies, period, but certainly one of my favorites um of the multiverse saga, which is phases 4, 5, and 6. And because the characters have never, for me, because they've never met on screen, a lot of them,
Yeah.
there's just no stakes. It doesn't feel it's not even the MCU. It's an alternate version of the MCU. So to me,
Yeah.
it's hard for me to get invested, and
Mhm.
especially when it's characters who they haven't met each other in the shows and in the movies. Really, like some of them have, but most of them haven't. And to me, it's weird to do that. I mean, like, and Brittany, let's talk about you said one of your favorite characters is Blade, right? Well, in this
Yeah.
series, Blade is a combination of Blade and Moon Knight. He's
Yeah.
called Blade Knight because
Yeah.
Blade gets the Khonshu, I guess, after Mark Spector gets the zombie virus, right?
Mhm.
But that's so weird because we've actually never seen Blade in the MCU. We've heard his voice in the
Exactly.
Eternals, and
Yeah.
this show is it shows you how animation takes a long time to to gestate, right? It takes a long time
Oh,
to put
yeah.
stuff together.
Of
And
course.
so when they were working on this show for years, because this show actually was done last year, it could have come out instead of Agatha All Along. It was ready to go
Mm.
last year.
Mhm.
Um, but because they've been working on this for so long, and Blade was rumored for so long. It was supposed to come out. I think November of 2024 was like the last date they gave. But from 2019 through 2024, there's a 5-year period there where we were supposed to get Blade like the next year. Every year, the next year we're supposed to get
Mhm.
Blade, and that
Mhm.
didn't happen. And now you have Blade, and that Blade looks definitely just like Mahershala Ali. He doesn't. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
his voice. It's someone maybe
Yeah.
trying to do a Mahershala Ali
It's not bad.
impression. No,
It's
it's
not
not
bad.
bad. No, I mean the voice actors are great. I'm not nothing
Yes.
against them, but what I'm saying is it's so weird to see. Like this is like one of the first times we've seen this character on screen,
And it's
then
not even Mahershala.
it's not even him, but then also he's like crossing over with another character that we're probably never going to see again in Moon Knight. Who Moon Knight was in his own series. He had no
Yeah.
connections to anybody else, and
Yeah.
that's the problem of this saga so far. And also, to me, watching this, you know what, like in watching what's happened with Marvel lately, like Fantastic Four did not do as well as they hoped it would. Thunderbolts didn't do as well. Captain America: Brave New World didn't do as well. I get why they broke the bank and gave Robert Downey Jr. all that money to come back. And like, even though it's weird for people that he's going to come back and play a different character, they've got to get some star power. They've got to get people to care, because like, I don't know that a ton of people are watching Marvel Zombies. And
Yeah.
think about in the past, like, when Marvel dropped something, it was a huge thing. And I just think that like the way that this has played out, and I blame Disney Plus the most. I think Disney Plus has really hurt the brand of Marvel,
Yeah.
more than, than we can even imagine. And I think that's why they really need to kind of like get all this stuff out and then just be quiet until Doomsday, or until Spider-Man comes out next summer, but then until Doomsday comes out, in December of 2026, because yeah, it's too much content. The content hasn't been as good. It's not connected.
Yeah.
And as a fan of this stuff, like it's frustrating because like, I feel like I'm obligated because I'm a fan, but I don't like look forward to, like, I didn't look forward to watching this, and I'm glad I didn't, because I would have been disappointed, because this is it's meh. I know that's one of the words you use, but it's meh.
And I know you hate it.
I'll never watch this again. And I like it. I'm not a fan.
Okay.
So
thanks for joining our podcast today, folks.
The thing is like, I hate to be negative. I don't think I'm being negative. I'm being honest. Like, I love Marvel. I love Marvel Studios, but I think the Disney Plus stuff has really killed them. I think it's that decision to do that. And that wasn't their decision. That was, the powers that be at Disney when they decided to start Disney Plus.
Yep.
And those people, in the past week or two, they've looked like fools. Let's be honest. Like, in the world, they thought they knew what they were doing, and then they did something, and all of a sudden, I mean, to me, it should be called Jimmy Kimmel Plus. We should rename the platform because of the power that he wields now. But
oh no, he's Thanos.
Right. But enough of that, I guess. I just it's disappointing. Like, when there's other superhero stuff happening right now. We're going to talk about Gen V later this month, and that, to me, Gen V is just like kind of okay. But then Peacemaker is like so good. Like, it's so well done. It's like, man, like, the timing of this show also, like, this show was supposed to come out in October. Now, granted, as we're recording this right here live, it is October 1st, but this show was supposed to come out around Halloween. That's what they said for like 2 years. And then they just drop it. They just binge drop it on a late Wednesday in September. And it's like, it's just like what they did with Wakanda Forever. I'm sorry. What was it called? Eyes of Wakanda. Eyes of Wakanda. That was like supposed to come out later on, and they just like dropped it in August one day. They're like, oh, whatever, here it is. And it's like, the way y'all are treating this stuff is like, don't be surprised when no one cares about this stuff. And I think that's what is happening.
I will have to agree with you on pretty much all that you have said, just because we've talked about this for years. I mean, for us, when we shifted to doing this podcast virtually, and we still do this virtually.
Yeah.
And speaking on how much content needed to be provided to Disney Plus, especially during the time of COVID, right? No one was going to the movie theaters. Nothing was open. Nothing was being really worked on anymore because there were so many restrictions put in place.
Yeah.
But for a period of time, because of the world that we lived in back in 2020, 21, 22, it was lucrative with having everything being readily available to you on a streaming platform. But because Disney Plus launched 2017, 2018, give or take?
I think it's 2019, actually.
2019. Okay. Yeah. So just barely before the pandemic began. And they're trying to build clientele and build their catalog and what have you, to your point of this kind of being Marvel's downfall in a fashion, because they were strictly just movies. Everyone looked forward to a movie coming out every couple of years, because there was nothing else to watch in the meantime. There wasn't a TV show or a miniseries or something streaming at the time, right? It's lost some of its luster because of the amount of content that was needed for Disney Plus. Now, some of it's been pretty good, some of it not so much, and some of it's been kind of bad. But Marvel, for whatever reason, has just lost it's not as special as it once was. And that's because we, particularly you and me, have been saying that like phase 4 was like a rebuilding phase, and then things happen with one of the actors that changed the whole kind of storyline with the villain and so on and so on. So there's a lot of other factors outside of just we need to create content to support a platform plus our movie industry, what have you. Lots of things out of people's controls that happened.
Yeah.
But to just kind of toss aside these projects and drop them ahead of schedule or rearrange release dates or not be able to secure a director or writer or major people when it comes to making a movie is really disappointing. Yeah. It's really disappointing. And then obviously the shift from one head of Disney to another head of Disney and back has just been kind of crazy, but we're in trouble, people. We're in trouble. I'm still not really keen on the idea of RDJ coming back to the MCU. And it's nothing against him personally, obviously. It's just, I've said it. It takes away from Tony Stark's sacrifice and dying. Yeah. It's just not, it's not as special now. It's not as meaningful as it once was, because it's like, oh, well, we're in the multiverse, or we're rebooting, we can do whatever we want. We're just going to bring back star power because we obviously need it. And it's just like, but everything prior to that is just obsolete. It feels.
Yeah.
It's not special anymore.
I think with the RDJ thing, I think I'm going to wait till I see it before I judge that. But I do think that, like, I mean, they need a shot in the arm. And Iron Man is the one that kicked all this off. This is Robert Downey Jr.'s franchise. This is his franchise. So, and truth be told, he never wanted to be killed off in an Endgame, but they made that decision. Now it was a monetary decision, but also it was a story decision. And I think they made the right decision story-wise.
For the time. Yes.
Yeah.
I wholeheartedly agree.
However, the problem with these characters is none of them are meant to stay dead. They're not. And so if in Doomsday he's playing, he plays Doctor Doom from the Fantastic Four universe or world, and then he also returns as a variant of Iron Man, that's okay. I mean, you know what? If it's good, I don't care. Honestly, I just give me something good. And I think that that we really need something. They desperately need this stuff. I think now it's not it's not you could see it wasn't like they were oh, this is just a crazy idea. This is a desperate, we need a lifesaver, right? And I think that Doomsday will deliver that, or at least I hope so. But I want to ask everybody, if you're watching us live right now, in the live chat, what'd you think about the show? We're kind of doing the state of the MCU right now. What do you think about the MCU right now? And if you're watching us later, be sure to comment below and let us know what you think about what we're saying, what you saw in this series, because I want to get other people's perspective, because I kind of have this running dialogue in my head all the time, because I think about this stuff all the time. And I really hope we can get back to the days of Endgame. I think that's impossible, but at least get back to where it's oh, this is a fun thing. But the key to that, and Brittany, you mentioned this also, is you need to have a scarcity. You need to have when it was 3 movies a year, those are 3 major events on the calendar.
Yeah.
But this year, they had 3 movies. They've had, I don't know, 4 shows. Honestly, we reviewed all of them. I can't remember all of them. We did. There was the Daredevil show, which was a disappointment.
Oof. Eyes of Wakanda. We also did this one, obviously.
And they've got still one more coming up in December. They have Wonder Man to come out. Or at least they say December. Who knows? They may drop it tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. You can't really trust their timeline for for stuff. But
Oh, Ironheart. We did
Ironheart.
Ironheart as
I
well.
liked Ironheart.
I liked Ironheart.
Yeah,
That show.
I thought it was a nice surprise.
I
But
just couldn't believe how long it took them to release it after
yeah,
it concluded filming, and
yeah,
it's just crazy. I want to talk to whoever is scheduling all this stuff because you need to get it together. Like,
yeah.
get it
But
together.
this one, like, why didn't this come out around Halloween? Especially if it's
I
going to be
don't know.
especially if it's a binge drop. Why wouldn't you drop it on Halloween? What days is Halloween a weekday or
That's
is it a week?
Friday.
It's I mean, like,
The
why wouldn't
last
you?
Friday of October.
Why wouldn't you drop this on Halloween? I don't
I know.
understand that at all. That just
I know.
makes no sense
It's so silly.
whatsoever. But getting back to the show itself, I just think because that these phases haven't worked, that to me, whenever you do like this zombie this alternate world with zombies, to me, you've got to give us the characters that we know and love. You've got to give us Iron Man. You've got to give us Steve Rogers. You've got to give us Hulk. And we did
Well,
get we did get sort of, yeah, we got some of Steve Rogers. We got like literally half of him in this. Or
Friday.
yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Hawkeye's in it kinda. I don't think Black Widow was in it at all.
Mm-mm.
We get
Well,
Thor.
Yelena Belova, but not
Right, but we
technically.
get Thor, but it wasn't even Chris Hemsworth doing the voice because it was such a nothing kind of part,
Really? Because I thought that was actually
no,
him.
that
Okay,
wasn't him, no.
I got duped again.
So, to me, it's like if you're gonna play on you need to play on the characters we know and the stories we know, or the stories the audience knows, like, right? Like, because the
Yeah.
current audience is not keeping track of this stuff, and because you didn't connect any of it, it's hard for people to go, "Oh, remember that moment in Shang-Chi?" Well, it's like, not everybody didn't see Shang-Chi, obviously. Everybody
Yeah.
didn't see the Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
It's not like it was. So,
Yeah.
I said the same thing when we did What If season 3. Same thing with me. It's like you really gotta focus on the stuff we know and do what if scenarios from those scenarios, like, from those things that we saw that are MCU canon, whereas, like, the
Mhm.
things from 4 and 5, from phases 4 and 5, a lot of people don't even know it's canon from 4 and
Yeah.
5,
No, that's true.
So it's
But I
just
will say,
yeah,
I was here for Blade Khonshu. I was absolutely here for it
yeah,
because I feel like Moon Knight was one of those kind of underrated characters. I love I really love Moon Knight. You know, we reviewed it. Justin, I don't think you were as hyped up about it as I was, but I enjoyed it very much so. And then
it was
the
okay.
I
Yeah.
Wha-
No, it wasn't bad. Also, let me
the
say this real quick.
disrespect.
Let me say this real quick. I don't think any of this stuff is bad. It's
Yeah,
just it's not special. It's not
not special. It's not
awesome. It's
great.
not an event. It's not
No,
something that I look forward to. Like
no.
that's like Peacemaker. I can't wait till tomorrow night's episode of Peacemaker. Like, give me that right now. Like, I'd watch it right now. But I'm not feeling that way about the Marvel stuff. Now, give me Doomsday right now. Give me Doomsday yesterday. I can't wait for that movie. But
Well,
yeah.
I was excited to see Blade Khonshu because now, for sure, in a way, we can say that Mahershala Ali's Blade is officially in the MCU. So Wesley Snipes, you saying there's only one Blade, and there will only ever be one Blade, my brother.
Well, I mean, in
Kind
fairness
of
to
half true.
Wesley,
Kind
yeah,
of half true.
he's still not wrong. Like,
I
it's
said half true.
it's an alternate what if zombie world, but continue.
Yeah. Anyway, no, I was just saying, I really enjoyed watching that sort of fusion of Blade
Yeah.
Khonshu was really fun to watch, especially when his character was taking on Ghost, the one that
Yeah.
kinda, like,
Yeah, it
fades
was a
in
good
and
fight.
out.
Yeah.
That was a really good fight, just being able to anticipate where she was gonna be and just slice her in half. I'm like, "That's badass." Like, that was actually really cool. I was very entertained by that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think overall for what this show was, what really caught me off guard was the amount of violence in
Yeah.
an animation, right? I'm from the era where animation was just songs and feel good and love and this and that, what have you. You didn't get the violence like that. If there were violence, it was because Bambi's mother got shot off screen, right? That
Right.
that was violence. That was dark.
Yeah.
Or Mufasa died, right? That was sad. But
Yeah.
again, that technically happened off screen. You were actually actively watching the violence and death of a lot of major characters in a fashion, right? Uh, some people who we have come to know, like Riri Williams, Kate Bishop. Um, you're seeing some of your beloved characters turn into zombies, or just yeah,
Yeah.
you know. I was very surprised, of course, that they actually did get Elizabeth Olsen to voice her character, which was great, which was good. I did enjoy a lot of, like I said, these actors who have taken on the live action roles, and now they're lending their voices to the animation, which was fun, was good.
Yeah.
There are some high points. There was some fun stuff. There was just a lot of blood. My goodness, a lot
Yeah.
of blood. I was very taken aback by Baron Zemo being in this. I'm like, wait a second, what? Like, what is happening in this world? I laughed actually when I saw the raft
Mhm.
as his city on the sea, and I'm like, oh my gosh, he converted
Yeah.
a prison, his prison,
Yeah.
into a floating underwater city. Good
It
for
was
you.
yeah. It was not Daniel Bruhl though. It was
It
another
was
actor.
not. It
Yeah, it
was
was
actually, it
not.
was still
Yeah.
pretty good, pretty good. I will say too, when we went underwater and we were seeing a certain character of a favorite character of mine,
Mhm.
Eric, like pan shot. I'm like, cook, cook, cook. I absolutely did it. I think
Yeah,
I woke up Luna when when I just said that.
that's
She was
funny.
peaceful, she was asleep, and then I just hit that high falsetto, and she's like, "What? What happened?
What's going
Yeah,
on? Yeah.
what's going on?"
Yeah. Well, you did mention Elizabeth Olsen,
Yes,
back as Wanda, although in this show, she's the queen of the dead. What'd you
she
think about
is.
Wanda being the villain again in the MCU, in a alternate version of the MCU, but still?
It's that the villain thinks that they're the hero, right? She basically says that through her, she and Kamala Khan, which I did like how we got a little bit more of her
Yeah.
in this. I really enjoyed her show. I think her show was incredibly
Oh, yeah.
adorable, coming of age Miss Marvel. Y'all go check it out and then come back and watch our pod review on it. But I the idea that Wanda still lives in this sort of fantasy where she is, in her mind, she is not the villain. She is going to fix the world. She just obviously needs to use other people in order to kill the Hulk, in order to absorb this all the powers of like the Infinity Stones that pretty much like wiped the Earth, if you will, right?
Yeah.
But somehow, because of Hulk's gamma power, he's able to absorb the energy that these infinity stones possess, right? And he's able to keep things at bay, make sure that other people don't come and take them, and
Yeah.
use them to create new worlds, alternate, whatever. Didn't fully understand that, but I think I got the gist of it. So like I said, for me, in the final episode, I got to the point where Wanda's army of the dead have rallied, and you're talking like all sorts of zombies, right? You have uh, regular zombies, you've got giant freaking pim particle blown up zombies. You have Okoye, who is like a scion of the Queen of the Dead. I was like, not Okoye, no, like we love her, but you get all sorts of zombies, and it's a horde. It is a horde
Yeah.
of zombies. That was a great word choice, obviously by the writers, and they're just going at they're trying to take on Hulk left and right, and he's just too powerful, right? So Justin, for me, this concludes in a way that I don't think really justifies having a series at all. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like it wasn't a happy ending. It wasn't like a really a resolution per se because, basically, um, Wanda convinces Kamala to help her, like, remake the world, and then Kamala wakes up like in a dream world where everything is like perfect, and she's having coffee or drinks or whatever with Riri and Kate Bishop, who both, Kate we saw die, and
Mhm.
then at one point, and Riri, they're sitting there talking, and Kamala's just so like, oh, this is so great. I'm so glad we're back together. I'm so glad we're doing this again. And they're like, we did this yesterday. And she's like,
Hmm.
no, that's not right. And all of a sudden, the world starts to kind of crack, and you see Riri show up, and she tells,
Like the real
oh, yeah,
Riri.
the real Riri. The real Riri shows up and tells her like, "Hey, like, this is like I've hacked the system, and what you're seeing is not real." And then she dies, and then uh, we see the Queen of the Dead, Wanda, kind of come to life or come back, and then we end. That's it.
Mhm.
So, I don't know if they're planning on doing a season 2 or some
Mhm.
maybe another what if episode. I'm not sure, but well, not no, because What If concluded. Yeah, What If season 3 was the final
Yeah, it
season of
was.
that. So,
It was.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, I
I'm
think it was meant to be like sometimes horror movies just kinda have the weird kinda ending.
like
And I think that,
kind of
like
like a cliffhanger that's never going to be picked up.
right, yeah, I think that's what they were trying to do with this, is my guess.
Mm, I guess. To go back to your original question about like Wanda kind of reprising this villainous sort of role, and I'm not too familiar with like the comics. I know Frank is our resident comic book expert when it comes to all things MCU or just Marvel in general, right? I don't know if this is just typical of her storyline or this is just something that someone said, "Hey, let's just make her into the villain," but in her mind she thinks she's the hero in her own story, right?
Yeah.
Which kind of make the best villains, honestly. But I mean, is she really the villain? Is she? I don't know. Do we need to continue this sort of story?
Well, do you
And then
remember in the
also, are we going to bring her back in Doomsday?
yeah, I think we're gonna see her in Doomsday or certainly in Secret
Yay.
Wars.
Okay.
You remember in the What If episode where Vision is like he's feeding her like pieces of people?
Vaguely.
Yeah, like, that was part of it, like, he's trying to keep his wife alive even though she's a zombie, so,
Mm, okay.
that's probably the biggest continuation from that is the fact that
Okay.
Wanda was a zombie back then, she's still obviously a zombie, she's more powerful than ever,
But
uh
the idea that she was able to hone in on her powers and sort of give this illusion that she is healed or whole, right? Because when we see her at the party in New Asgard, everyone's just having a good time, drinking, eating, being merry, and what have you. It's it's kind of it's kind of jarring a little bit because yes, if this show is picking up in a fashion from the zombie episode in What If, we saw her as a zombie and very much dead, very much, a zombie. And then it's like, how are you able to break through that sort of mentality and regain focus of your powers? And I say this carefully because when Spider-Man was explaining the story of how he and I'm going to call him Paul Rudd, Scott Lang. Which, by the way, I was like, "Wait a minute, was Scott Lang always just a dismembered head?" Like, I don't remember that.
I think that happened in the What If episode from season
Okay,
1 also, yeah.
I probably should have gone to rewatch it just to refresh myself. But anyway, when Peter is telling the story about what happened in Wakanda and how T'Challa knew saw it before anyone else did about Thanos. Thanos, who's the zombie who had was missing just one infinity stone, and he was learning. Like he was learning how to control the powers, like able to kind of break through and focus his mind on using the infinity stone to his will. And so it's like, okay, well, if we're prefacing it that way, then it would make sense, I guess, for Wanda, who is, in my opinion, one of the most
Yeah.
powerful beings in this universe, mutant or not. And it just makes sense that if Thanos was able to kind of start breaking through and using the Infinity Stones, she would be able to tap back into her abilities and be able to bend everything to her will.
Mhm.
that was kind of cool. I will give her that.
Yeah. I thought that the zombie Thanos looked cool. I think it's anytime
Yeah.
you can bring Thanos back, that's a good shot.
I was kind of I was waiting for him to just snap.
Yeah.
We sadly did not get this snap. But I will say, because I mentioned T'Challa, I do appreciate that they did not try to use Chadwick's voice or have someone else step in to
Yeah.
be T'Challa. And I think that's just like a nice way to honor Chadwick and his time as T'Challa, the Black Panther. I think that was well done. I do appreciate that. Shout out to Travis who's joining us in today's live chat. Appreciate you being
Yeah.
here. Travis says, when they arrive in Wakanda on the ship, we see the Watcher looking at them from the sky. Between that and how they show the gauntlet and T'Challa before it explodes makes me think he's not dead. Ooh. Well, appreciate you pointing out about the Watcher, because I did ask that earlier in the pod if we did see the Watcher, because he has made an appearance and so far in all the Marvel animation shows that we've got. So appreciate you pointing that out. I'll have to go back and check that out.
Yeah, I missed that. Like I said, I saw that I saw that it was mentioned online, but I didn't see it for myself as far as watching it. So I didn't do the best at that. Gotta say.
Yeah. This
I was
show
binging it, yeah.
This show, as much as I was trying to watch and binge right before we jumped onto this pod, because life's been lifing, y'all. I wish there was an alternate universe where there was like multiples of me that I can bring back into this universe and get stuff done. But
even if they're zombies, right?
Even if they're zombies, I think that'd be fun.
Yeah,
I think Zombie Brittany would be great. She'd bite off the heads of her enemies. Anyway, I tried very hard to watch the series before jumping on here, and a lot of the times it just was not holding my attention. Sadly, I try really hard not to be on my phone or not to get distracted by something else. But I found myself picking up my phone several times and just kind of doom scrolling because there wasn't really anything grabbing my attention, sadly.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand. Gotcha. Yeah.
I was going to say, back to Travis in the chat. He says, I could see to T'Challa, I'm going to assume you mean T'Challa, somehow becoming one with the stones, going a Gandalf the white route, and he returns with the infinity power flowing through his vibranium. Wouldn't that be awesome? That'd be kind of cool. But I'm glad that they didn't do more with T'Challa other than just saying he was a hero. He sacrificed himself to save what was left of the world.
Right. But it's interesting how they like how T'Challa was even in this, given I guess Wakanda Forever happened in, as far as in the MCU, I guess it was like 2020. I don't know. Like the movie came out in 2022, I believe, or the end of 2021. Like, there are moments in this, like, we see Shang-Chi and Awkwafina, or Shang-Chi and what's her name? The character's name? Katie. We see them kind of at the beginning of the Shang-Chi movie where they're working, and then it's before she even knows he has the 10 rings, So there are moments that are, from those movies, but yeah, the addition of T'Challa was kind of interesting. And I do think we will see a new T'Challa, either probably in Secret Wars. I don't think we'll see it in Doomsday. You never know. Maybe we will.
Yeah.
But that was an interesting call. I also wanted to point out that you mentioned Spider-Man earlier. He was voiced by Hudson Thames, who did the voice for Spider-Man in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which I know you did not watch that.
Did not.
But that was a very good show. And that was a show where it's not in the MCU, but there are moments from the MCU that are kind of paralleled in the show. And I think I really kind of think that, like, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man does a better version of What If than What If does, if that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you just kind of have to watch it to get the point. But it's instead of Tony Stark being his mentor, it's another character as his mentor. But it's very similar circumstances. I thought that series was very good.
Okay.
Yeah, so I thought it was interesting that he voiced the character in this show also, because I don't think he's ever voiced the character in the MCU Spider-Man in doing these animated shows, because Tom Holland has never voiced the character in these animated shows. So
I guess Sony will only put him on loan for the live actions, not for voiceovers.
I think there's a deal with, like, Spider-Man and, like, TV/streaming. I don't
Uh,
know that I don't know that
they've
it's
hashed it
available.
out.
Yeah.
Mm,
Obviously, the character can be used in animation, but
right.
maybe there's some kinda deal with that
Must
he
be.
prevents him from doing it. Yeah.
I will say in the episode where I guess it's episode 2, Shang-Chi and Katie, they see the destruction and fall of San Francisco, which low-key I forgot that Pim whatever the company is called is located in San Francisco or just on that side of the country.
Yeah.
Just sidebar. Uh, to see them kind of do like a Mad Max sort of vibe, right? Because they're living in just dystopia and they're fighting off scrolls. I had to look up about these other characters that were with them because I'm like, wait, are these characters that we know in the MCU or not? Especially the one who, when they're united with Kamala, Alexei, Yelena, and Blade, the one character that spoke to Blade and just dead ass asked him, "Make me immortal." I was like, "Who's this guy? Like,
Yeah.
who is this guy?" I looked him up, and the voice actor is actually someone who was involved with X-Men 97. He voiced Bishop. So I was like, "That's
Okay.
kinda cool." That's
Yeah.
kinda cool that, they are utilizing additional voice actors from another property that is Marvel, but also, Disney.
Yeah. One of the small things about this show that I noticed right away that I thought was kinda strange is the fact that the episodes weren't titled. They're just literally episode 1,
No, I
episode 2,
didn't pay
episode 3,
attention to
episode 4,
that.
which I thought was kinda
Hmm.
that's unusual for Marvel. Usually they
They
have
must not have had a lot of faith if they didn't title these episodes.
I think they thought, like, maybe they were, like, going, like, for a stripped down version. It's this
Sure, we'll go with that.
TV MA. It's this gritty, horror, bloody horror that they're gonna I don't know,
That was the only thing, like I said, that
kinda
was keeping me
lacking.
interested. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was the only thing that kept me interested was just the amount of violence that this animation was displaying, and tell you, if you told me this, I would be watching this in my 30s, but you're telling me this in the 90s as a child, and I'm watching, like, Disney, fairy tale Disney,
Yeah.
I would say you're lying,
Yeah.
100%. I would have never guessed the evolution of Disney allowing this much violence on their platform.
Yeah. Wanna go to
Ah.
Travis again in the
Yep, go for it.
comments. He says, "One issue is they tended to ditch dramatic weight with characters at the end of one episode and replace it with humor the next episode.
Mm,
Red Guardian, Zemo, so on." Yeah, and
mhm.
I agree, Travis, and the thing is, like, they also, like, the the MCU humor has been, was pretty good, right, for a long
Yeah,
time. It was kinda like the
yeah,
Joss Whedon kind of influence that he
yep.
had over the Avengers movies, that they kinda kept that quippy stuff going, and obviously Robert Downey Jr., very quick-witted. Um,
Oh, yeah.
I think the humor has, movies-wise has kind of, like, still pretty strong, but man, the humor on these Disney Plus shows, and especially animation, is so hit or miss, and a lot of times it's miss. It's a big miss. So, and the timing of it's kinda weird. It's just I don't know. These shows, like, they just don't I just don't care. Like, they don't grab me, like, it's
Mhm.
I don't, like, and I'm a person, I like the multiverse, but I think you need to, like, ground the multiverse in with the characters in your world or in the world that we know of, and then they have to deal with the effects of the afterverse. To me, an alternate universe with the undead is just
Yeah.
not very interesting, So,
No, no, I mean,
and
you gotta flesh it out, no pun intended.
yeah,
Um, but, yeah, you gotta build a story that makes you care, makes you committed,
yeah,
but it is what it is.
yeah, definitely. Brittany, are there any other characters or anything else you want to highlight about this 4-episode miniseries?
Not particularly. I think we've kinda covered all the high points that I wanted to discuss, really. Will I watch it again, or will I actually go back and conclude episode 4? Probably not. A little disappointed in the ending after all. Just because it's like, what's the point? What's the point? What's the point?
Yeah,
Instead of it being what if, it should be what's the point?
It's interesting, like looking back at the other phase 4 and 5 and even 6 projects, especially the Disney Plus shows. We didn't have any representation from Loki. We didn't have any representation from She-Hulk,
You
uh,
know,
Secret Invasion.
I actually thought in that first episode where we're seeing the fight between the two super powered beings that can't die, I literally thought one of them was gonna be Loki because of the green that was
Yeah.
emulating, right? And the other one ended up being Captain Marvel. And I'm like, okay, I don't care anymore. I don't care about her. I just don't. I was hoping it was going to be Loki. I'm like, oh, this is going to be awesome. I thought for some reason it was going to be Loki and Thor fighting again or something
Mhm.
nonsense. And then I saw it and I'm like, is that an Eternal?
Yeah, Icarus was it Icarus? I think so. I think it's Icarus. Yeah.
I sure. Okay. I mean,
That was
Icarus were
Richard Madden's character from
yeah, but Icarus were blue in the Eternals from what I remember. But either way, I
yeah.
was just like, oh, we're gonna bring another mention of the Immortals or the Immortals, the Eternals
Yeah.
into back into the fold. Like we got the first mention in years in Captain America: Brave New World, right? Like now we're gonna have another mention. Whatever, just
Yeah.
I'm done with it. I'm so
And
done with that.
a little earlier you mentioned Kang, or you didn't actually say Kang, but you're
Yeah.
talking about the Jonathan Major situation.
Yes.
I'm sure there was a version of this where Kang was a part of this.
Could
Almost
you
assuredly.
imagine?
Yeah, because obviously because of,
That'd been
everything,
cool.
he was, we were supposed to get, Avengers 5 was gonna be the Kang Dynasty instead
I
of
know.
being Doomsday. So,
Doomsday. I
I'm
know.
sure there was some at certain point where he was a part of this and they probably had to change that. So, I think it just to me, this is emblematic of how much of a mess 4 and 5 and now going into 6 it all is. It's so muddled, you know?
Yeah, it is. I like Travis's comment here. What if we got a zombie version of the Celestial in the ocean who awakens, destroys Earth, and begins going after the Celestial? That would be insane.
Yeah. That would
As
be a
long as
good
I
what
don't
if.
as long as I don't fall asleep watching it like I did with the Eternals, cool.
I like the Eternals. I thought it was okay. I
Oh
mean,
my
it's not my
god.
favorite, but it's like I thought it was interesting. But again,
I
like
I put it right there with the Snyder cut. My god, that was hours of my life I can never get
oh,
back.
the Snyder Cut was good. Come on. Now, was it
Mm,
way too long? Of course, it was way too long. But that was his best DC movie, Zack Snyder.
okay,
It was.
if
It
you
was.
say
Trust
so.
me. Yeah, I do say so. I definitely say so.
I disagree,
Um,
but I digress.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. This one, honestly, they could have punted a little bit longer. Maybe they could have pushed it to next year or something, or I don't know, reworked it, or I
That
don't know. To me, the
also was
best,
it needed? Was
yeah,
it needed?
like to me, the best two animated projects so far have been X-Men '97 and Spider-Man. Your Friend in the Neighborhood Spider-Man. Neither one are in the MCU. So to me, it's almost like if you're gonna have Disney Plus, if you're gonna have Marvel stuff on Disney Plus, which I know you will, I
Mhm.
think it should be reserved for two things: for animation, and then the animation could just be anything. Like I said, it can be whatever. You can bring back the Iron Man animated show from the 1994 if you want to do that. Like, and it's not in the MCU, that's fine.
Mm,
Or
okay.
do another Spider-Man season or whatever, that's fine. But I think that what it should be when it's MCU, it should be specials. There should be like one special every year or like a holiday special. And that's the way you could do like a story for a smaller character. Make it an MCU story, but make it a one-off special, which has like a movie feel. It can be like a 90 minutes or whatever, 80 to
Dude,
90 minutes.
what was the one that came out a couple years ago around Halloween? It was black and white.
Yeah,
Wo
Werewolf by
Wolf
Night.
Werewolf by Night. That was
Yeah,
great.
yeah. And then the
A
following year,
one-off
they released it as a in color.
in color.
I never watched it in color, but
No, I didn't either. I really liked tapping
yeah,
back into that old school horror sort of
yeah,
look that it's very nostalgic, right? You
yeah,
get the original Nosferatu and what have you. It's like that's just cool. That's just
yeah.
classic. It's timeless. It's
Yeah, I
great.
feel like they should just like do that. They should have like one or two specials a year, two or three movies a year on the big screen, and then maybe you have some animated stuff that's just like not filler, but it's you can
Not
explore characters.
affiliated with it either.
Right, it's not MCU, so you can
Yeah.
do anything you wanna do. Like, if you
Yeah.
wanna, bring back the Avengers, but they're different and it's not, they're different colors and different suits and whatever, that's fine. Like,
I can get behind that. I can
I
get
think
behind
I
that.
think there's so much more they can do, and I think they should, like, kinda let the MCU be a cinematic experience. It
Yes!
is the
It
Marvel
is
Cinematic Universe
cinematic
after all.
universe. Thank
Let it be
you.
cinematic, and whenever you wanna introduce a new character, do it on a special, which feels like kind of a mini movie on
Yeah.
the streamer. So it's my free advice for the House of the Mouse. I know they're gonna listen to me and take that to
Also,
the bank.
make Daredevil great again, okay? God damn it. I was so disappointed with Daredevil.
Yeah.
That's just beside the point. Anyway, to wrap up on this
Mhm.
pod, Justin, I will wholeheartedly agree with Travis here, who says, I think the first episode of Marvel Zombies was decent. The
Yeah.
second was perfect. Then after they escaped the raft, it seemed like they didn't know where to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that wraps it up pretty well.
Well, and you wonder, is it a thing where should it be an 8-episode thing? Or should it be a
No,
6-episode thing? Or no, what I'm
no.
saying is, like, instead of doing, like, a binge drop, should it be stretched out to, like, give it some breathing room and
Breathing
some
room.
time and,
Maybe.
here's the thing, like, this is one of those things where this should have just been like a 90-minute special, where it doesn't have to be.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
they didn't even title the episodes. So, like, I
No.
mean, basically it is kind of a 2-hour-ish movie, right?
Mhm,
Like, it's,
mhm, mhm, mhm.
um, they just broke it up into 4 pieces. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm really concerned with how they've done this and how they release things. And,
Yeah.
like I said, the next thing is supposedly Wonder Man in December, but then, it may drop like in 2 weeks. I would not be surprised at all, so if it
uh,
does, we will review it at some point, but that's what's next for Marvel. Then after that, I think next year they've got Daredevil season 2. There's gonna be a Vision series, which I don't think is even titled yet that we know of. I think Vision Quest is the thing that people say online, but I don't know if that's what's
right.
gonna be called. There's gonna be a
No.
Punisher special, so Punisher will have a special.
Yes.
So, there's a lot more stuff coming. I mean, fortunately, but also unfortunately in some ways, because, like, let's make it good. Let's get some good stuff again. Let's get excited about the MCU. And
Yeah.
I think for me, that's probably gonna have to wait until Spider-Man Brand New Day, and then of course leading into Avengers Doomsday. So looking
Here,
forward to
here.
that one for
We're
sure.
here.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So I think that about does it for us, Brittany.
I agree. Yeah. I think you're right. Travis' last thought here in the chat, Justin says, introducing Blade and the Punisher special would be awesome.
It would be. It would be.
Ah, that's interesting.
I don't think that's gonna happen, but it could. I mean, who knows?
Hey, if they introduce Blade into Sinners, that's the crossover I didn't know I needed, but I do. That would have been cool. Man.
Well,
Anyway.
Blade was a New Line Cinema film, which New Line Cinema was purchased by Warner Brothers, years after that.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, and
Yeah.
Sinners is a Warner Brothers film, so I'm saying, like, I guess it could potentially happen somewhere, some cinematic universe it could happen.
Bring the
Um,
prequel. I need to see the prequel, the story of the twins. My God, I have so many questions. Also, can we bridge Sinners with Interview with a Vampire? Like, just bring all
you
these
talking about the
vampires
show or the
together.
movie?
The show,
The show. Okay.
the show, the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I need all that to like just be
Yeah.
mixed together and gifted to us.
Yeah.
Anyway, I
If you're talking
digress.
about the movie Interview with the Vampire, then you get the great line from Deadpool where he's like, Kristen? Talking
Oh
about
gosh. Yeah, Kirsten
yeah.
Dunst.
Yeah. He's like, I can never remember that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway, I
Yeah.
can't either, honestly. Um, so Brittany, why don't you let everybody know how they can, if, they know what we think about this show now. We want to know what they think about it. How can they let us know?
Well, much like Travis has done today in our live chat, we appreciate you once again for taking time out of
Yeah.
your day to join us. We invite everyone to join us for our next live chat, for our next live stream, which, Justin, will be soon.
Yeah, we got a football pod next Tuesday is the next one I believe we have coming up is our Watchers football pod. We're checking in after about a month, first month of the NFL season. So
Nice. Yes.
be sure to
So if
join
you're
us. Yeah.
So if you're into the foosball, please come back and join us.
Yes, please do.
By us, I mean Justin, Frank, and Tristan talking all things foosball in the NFL. I will be taking a step back because I don't do the foosball. Anyway, that being said, to make sure that you do join us for next time, be sure to subscribe to our channel by hitting that subscribe button down below. And as of recording time, we're at 469 subscribers. One more subscriber from our last pod. So that's awesome. We're on the show to 500. Appreciate all those who have already subscribed. Be sure to hit the like button as well as hit that notification bell. That way you get that reminder of when we go live for that next live stream.
Yeah.
Also, all of our social media links can be found in the description box down below. And lastly, you can check out our audio podcast available to you on Spotify as well as other audio podcast platforms.
Thank you, Brittany. Appreciate it. And yeah, like Brittany said, appreciate everybody in the live chat. Appreciate all the comments and everything, and people subscribing and liking stuff. And like there's so many options out there. There's so many podcasts, so many live stream things on YouTube you can watch, so many videos. And hey, if you can subscribe to us, that makes our day. Honestly, like that's really makes us feel good. So we appreciate it. And
we appreciate you choosing us to listen to.
Yeah, we really do. So
yes.
Yeah, we've got plenty more coming. Like I said, if you're interested in Peacemaker, I'll be reviewing the end of that season in a few weeks. We have 2 episodes left. We're going to be doing Gen V season 2 in about a month or so, into this month, I believe.
And then spooky season, Justin. Spooky season.
Yeah. Amber will be back with us. We'll be talking about The Haunting of Hill House. We'll do that. So we've got a busy October lined up for us. So let's see if we can knock it down, and hopefully everybody will join us and have fun. So
for sure.
Yeah. So once again, thanks again to Brittany. So for Brittany, I'm Justin saying thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We will see you next time. Have a good night. Bye-bye.